Ohio State's reported $17 million jersey patch deal is not just a jersey patch deal. It is also partially an NIL retention weapon. Now, I know that sounds like I'm taking one corporate logo and turning it into a recruiting conspiracy. I'm not. Okay, Ohio State has not disclosed the full financial terms, the NIL structure, which athletes will participate, or exactly what Chase will provide. We need to be honest about that. But this partnership goes far beyond just 4 square inches of fabric. It includes NIL opportunities, financial education, career development, academic partnerships, and a large Chase presence around Ohio State athletics, even larger than what we've seen from Huntington Bank, who is the official bank of Ohio State, whatever they want to call it now. And when you put those pieces together, the most important part of this agreement may not be the reported $17 million at all. So in this episode, I'm going to show you why this partnership could help Ohio State keep elite players, why NIL battles with programs such as Tennessee here recently helped form this deal structure, and what Chase may provide that an ordinary school's revenue sharing contract cannot. So I'm John with BuckeyeHuddle.com, where you'll find deep Ohio State coverage, elite recruiting intel, and none of the toxic noise that's out there. You can come to us over at BuckeyeHuddle.com, get the info you need, join the message board, and we appreciate having you over there with us. All right, let's get into this. Before we go any further, though, I need to acknowledge something from a previous episode. Now, I would very clearly said Ohio State's jersey patch should be worth more than $7 million. I kind of talked about the rumor of $7 million, but I said it would be more than that. And just be honest with you, I was told the deal would be larger than any program currently has had, and you put those two together, and you see Kansas was around that range, so I knew Ohio State would be more than that. Now, of course, Notre Dame came out recently, and theirs is technically bigger, but we'll have to talk about that on another episode. So I knew the number had to be higher. I was not prepared for nearly $17 million. That is more than double the number I was using as a reasonable floor. Other people reportedly put it near $17 million. Ohio State kept the financial terms confidential. The reported amount applies across all 36 varsity sports and includes additional NIL opportunities for athletes. Ohio State did an excellent job keeping the complete value of this relationship under wraps, because while many were just evaluating the price of a patch, Ohio State was looking for benefits and resources as well for their players. Ohio State and Chase Bank were apparently negotiating much more of a commercial kind of ecosystem than people realize, and that distinction matters a lot when you look through this situation. The most misunderstood part of Ohio State's reported $17 million Chase Bank jersey patch deal is that the patch may not be the full product. The patch is what fans can see. It sits on the jersey and creates the headline, but the partnership also includes a range of possibilities, from NIL opportunities, financial education, career development, academic relationships, premium fan experiences, and expands Chase activation around Ohio State athletics. That means Chase is not just buying fabric to put their logo on. Chase is buying access to the Ohio State ecosystem as well, and Ohio State athletes are part of that ecosystem. They're a big part of that happening. We do not know which players will receive deals or the benefits or different things like that, but we also do not know how much money Chase will be spent on all of this exactly. We have the $17 million deal, but there could be more kind of being put behind the scenes to give benefits and perks to players. At this point, though, Ohio State doesn't even know what all those details would be yet. They just know that they have a partner that they can work these things through. So we do not know whether any football retention plan is written into the agreement, but if an Ohio State player can get paid for a Chase campaign, receive legitimate financial guidance, build corporate relationships, and see a career path beyond football, or get customized wealth management while they're at Ohio State, staying in Columbus becomes a lot more valuable. The logo is the visible piece. The retention infrastructure may be the real prize. So what do you think matters? What do you think matters more in this Chase partnership? The direct NIL money money, the career and financial resources, maybe the recruiting and retention advantage that it could create? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd like to know in this video what your thoughts are. And please do subscribe to Buckeye Huddle for more clear and honest Buckeye analysis that we give you here. So here's what we do know, all right? I just kind of went through a lot of things that we don't know yet, but here's what we do know, okay? The reported annual value is between more than $15 million and nearly $17 million. The agreement covers all 36 sports. Ohio State says the partnership provides resources to support athletes through NIL opportunities. Chase is also connected to financial education, career development, fan experience, and the new 1922 club that Ohio State is putting out there. We also know Chase has deep roots in Columbus and has hired more than 1,700 Ohio State alumni during just the past 5 years alone. And that matters, right? That does definitely matter. A normal NIL pitch is often transactional. Make this, post or appear at this event, receive this payment. But Chase can potentially offer something larger than just kind of the standard stuff. It can put athletes in the Ohio State jersey in their advertising. It can create ambassador agreements. It can pay players to appear at cardholder events, community programs, or premium, hospitality experiences. Not to say that they couldn't do this before, but with your logo physically on the jersey, that provides you more opportunities to have the branding of Ohio State at those events and doing those things, not just the players by themselves. It can build campaigns across sports and offer internships, mentorship, and a real employment pipeline for Chase. And it can help young athletes understand what to do with the money after they receive it too. That may not be as exciting as a screenshot of a dollar bill amount or anything like that, but it is probably more valuable to families and people who want to set up their sons or to do well with their money after their playing days are over. Think about an elite recruit who is 17 years old. Everybody is promising money, exposure, NFL preparation. Ohio State can potentially say, you have all those things, and here's also the immediate NIL opportunity. Here is the national company attached to it. Here are the financial resources, and here is how your son can leave with not just the money they made from Ohio State, but even more if they do the wealth management correctly. That is different. That's a different presentation. And listen carefully, all right? Listen to this carefully. I'm not saying Chase is secretly paying Ohio State's entire roster, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying every five-star will receive a bank commercial. I'm not saying Ohio State has added a powerful corporate tool to a competition increasingly decided by the total value surrounding a player, which we saw would have been very helpful when the Buckeyes were battling Tennessee. Ohio State has been playing the modern NIL game in some ways against schools like Tennessee, but it's gotten even more convoluted and modern for other schools like Tennessee and other aggressive programs like them to understand the reality of what's going on here. Relationships still matter, development still matters, and winning still matters, of course. But when the talent is elite, the support system around the player matters as well. Ohio State has also learned it cannot sit around waiting for Nike to offer to sign every recruit, nor will they just sit around and wait for that to happen. They need to act. They need to get these players that are the best in the country to come to Ohio State. Ohio State knows it needs more corporate partnerships because it cannot assume its apparel relationship will operate like the broader support that Adidas aligned schools appear to receive. If Nike is not going to become Ohio State's complete NIL, backing party to help them get players, Ohio State has to build its own network to make that happen. That means donors, businesses, national sponsors, career partnerships, financial institutions, all those types of things. Every legitimate layer that makes the Ohio State opportunity harder to duplicate. Chase may be the largest example yet. Tennessee just beat out Ohio State for David Gabriel George, and if you believe the rumors, they're also going after DJ Jacobs. I've not believed those are big enough to report on here on this podcast of the Buckeye Huddle podcast, but at some point we may do something like that. Ohio State understands that pointing to NFL draft history and saying come be developed is no longer enough in this world of college football anymore. The Buckeyes need to match development with a modern economic structure and system. Not reckless spending, not recklessly promising starting positions away and stuff like that. No fake promises, not breaking the culture, as we discussed. We are talking about structure. The best programs are trying to turn NIL from a series of emergency negotiations into something repeatable. The goal is not to panic every time another school calls one of your players. The goal is to build an environment where the players already have enough value, opportunities, and trust that that call is way less tempting, or you just hang up the phone right away because you say, I got everything I need at Ohio State. You're not going to be able to get me out of here. That brings us back to retention. Landing a recruit is one negotiation, yes. Keeping him for the required 3 or 4 years, maybe even 5 in some cases, of proving that the promise was real is important too. The athletic department can help with compensation. A coach can help with development. Chase can potentially add brand exposure, financial education, career connections, legitimate paid work, all these types of things that for themselves and for other people around them. Together, those things create friction against the portal. Not a wall, but friction, all right? The other school has to overcome more than a depth chart complaint or $1 figure. It has to replace the entire package. And this is where the $17 million headline can distract us. The athletic department's annual payment and the athletes' NIL opportunities are not necessarily the same bucket. Ohio State has not explained how the rights fee is divided or whether Chase's individual athlete deals sit outside the numbers. The confirmed story is that Ohio State created a massive revenue stream and publicly attached these NIL opportunities and resources to the relationship. The reasonable speculation is that Chase can activate separate deals and services that can make Ohio State more attractive to current and future players. The unsupported claim would be that Chase created a secret $17 million future payroll, but we're not making that claim at all. What I am saying is this. Ohio State cannot wait for Nike to win the NIL war for them. That does not mean Nike is a bad partner. It means the modern game requires more than an apparel contract can do, or whatever the apparel group wants to do in that moment. Programs such as Tennessee have shown how aggressive schools can be when they combine donors, collectives, corporate relationships, and a willingness to push for elite talent. Ohio State has competed in enough of those battles to know development alone will not close every single deal or stop every single transfer. So the Chase partnership matters because it gives Ohio State another major piece of infrastructure. Maybe that becomes national ads for star players. Maybe it becomes financial planning for the players, or maybe for the parents or other people like that. Maybe it becomes internships, jobs, paid appearances, ambassador deals. We do not know exactly what the menu is yet. What we know is that Ohio State did not choose a small, regional, local logo and collect a check. It chose a global financial company and built NIL opportunities and athlete resources into the public description of the partnership. That is Ohio State building its own answer instead of waiting for somebody else to provide one, waiting for the NCAA to fix things, waiting for Congress to fix things. They're going out there and trying to set themselves up as best they possibly can. And although Ross Bjork is not the most popular guy in the world, and not every Ohio State fan is going to be happy you got a Chase logo on the jersey, you have to understand that Ross Bjork did a good job in this and what he did for Ohio State. So what should Ohio State's next major NIL partnership target be? More direct player deals, stronger career opportunities, or another national company that can help compete for against aggressive programs like Tennessee? Drop your answer in the comments, like this video, and subscribe to Buckeye Huddle for more clear and honest Ohio State analysis. And last thing we'll get to here. Ohio State analysis, does this mean that Ohio State will never lose another NIL battle? No. Of course not. That is not what that means. Tennessee will still win some recruits. Oregon is still going to be super aggressive, and Michigan is still going to do everything they can to buy a quarterback with all the cushion change they can possibly find in Ann Arbor. Okay, like that's what they're going to do. But Ohio State improved its position, and the real payoff may come with the players already on the roster. The sophomore who has developed, the backup quarterback another school wants, the defensive lineman who suddenly has portal value, or the star who could leave, because another program promises a larger check of some kind. Ohio State can potentially answer with more than just money. It can answer with a brand partnership, a financial plan, a career network, a national platform, and a reason to believe staying at Ohio State creates value, not just in your pocketbook, but in your life overall. That is why I believe the reported $17 million patch deal is really an NIL retention weapon, as well as a good amount of money for the athletic department. The infrastructure behind it is what could help Ohio State win recruiting battles on Mondays and get the championships at the end of the season. If you want to learn more about how important this is, watch me in a video about David Gabriel George committing to Tennessee as I talk through that whole situation, what went on there. Click that video here on the screen. I'll see you over there. Appreciate you watching the Buckeye Huddle podcast, and we'll see you next time. Now listen, if you're not on YouTube, no worries. I linked the video in the description below for you in the podcast description. And that's all I got for this episode of the Buckeye Huddle podcast. Come back tomorrow with an episode every Sunday through Thursday at 7 p.m. We'll see you then. Have a good one.